is our news report on the movie Limitless. Our main question about the movie that I'm sure many of the viewers out there have is, what are the possibilities of drugs like MZT and Limitless existing, and how safe is the consumption of drugs like it? We have us today Mr. Neil Berger, the movie's director, here to resolve a few questions for us. Patrick, you can hear us, right?
Yes, perfectly well. We have with us today Neil in the office. Now, if you don't mind, Mr. Berger, we'll just jump right into it. First off, let's start with a basic question for those who haven't seen or didn't quite understand the movie. What is Limitless about?
I think we all want to, we'd all love to be great, and we'd all like to do something special and make an impact on the world. And so here's a story about a guy who actually finds some kind of, fantastical way to make it happen. It's all played very real. It's not magic. It's a pill, and it actually makes him become the best version of himself. He's not a superhero. He's just, but he has this kind of sense of perfectibility. He's kind of become the perfect version of himself.
A great response, Mr. Berger. A second follow-up question I have is, what is the effect that MZT has on Eddie?
He's able to do everything and be all the things that he wants to be. Whether he finishes his book really quickly, he's suddenly playing the stock market and processing just reams of information, blindingly fast, and drawing conclusions on them, and picking stocks and making a ton of money, and doing all everything else. He's learning music, he's learning languages, he's playing poker and winning, he's driving cars fast. Everything that he wants to do, he somehow has it at his fingertips.
Thank you, Mr. Berger. A final question that I have for you today. How do you feel about the movie, and what thoughts do you have about the implications that it draws?
The movie is kind of this wild ride in a way, this journey of this guy who goes from failure to success to kind of a complete crash. And I think that the movie's about human potential, but it's also about power and this kind of powerful ride that this guy goes on. And so for me, I want us to be with Bradley's character as he makes these choices, as he makes these moral choices. And it is kind of this roller coaster ride, but he's such a winning character that I think that you go down the dark turns with him, as well as the into the light with him. So and it really does ask that question, what if you could change your life with a pill? What would you do?
Well, thank you for your time, Mr. Berger. Kevin, what do you think?
A great interview, Patrick, but before we can call this report finished, we need to get into the mind of the original writer. We have Ellen here with us. Ellen has done some background on the story. Tell us what you found.
The inspiration for Limitless is a book, The Dark Fields by Alan Glenn. Glenn was interested in the idea that if there are performance-enhancing drugs for athletes, what if there were performance-enhancing drugs for businessmen, lawyers, or politicians? He is an author of Irish heritage, lived in America for several years, and fell upon hard times himself. Inspiration of this book came from his hard times in America, where, as he put it, the modern medicated culture dedicated to reinventing oneself through substances is a quick fix. In The Dark Fields, the protagonist utilizes a substance exactly like MZT to solve his issues, much like many Americans these days using drugs recreationally for a variety of purposes, mostly to escape hardship or feel better when not used to these right reasons.
Thank you for the details, Ellen. Now let's get some solid data on the matter. Archie here has done some research into drugs similar to MZT. Archie, let's hear it. Archie?
The fictional MZT falls under a category of drugs called nootropic drugs. These drugs alter mental capability in varying ways. The most commonly one used is Adderall, originally designed to help those with attention deficit disorder, or ADHD. In the case of Adderall, it stimulates chemicals in the brain that affect the central nervous system. It helps control hyperactivity and impulsiveness. Some of its side effects, like that of many other nootropics, include, but are not limited to, headaches, irregular heartbeat, restricted usage of limbs, and anxiety, all of which were all experienced by Eddie Mora. Adderall is more commonplace than MZT, and MZT is an incredibly exaggerated nootropic. Additionally, the percentage of the brain usage is a very controversial topic. Many neurologists claim that we do use our full capacity, and intelligence is applied and gained rather than untapped and underutilized.
Very insightful, Archie. So now we can answer a question. What are the possibilities of drugs like NZT and Limitless existing, and how safe is the consumption of drugs like it?
Well, Kevin, there are many that ideally function in a similar fashion to NZT, but none come close because of the stated 10% brain usage statistic. Rather, such nootropics fulfill roles like controlling impulses, enhancing concentration, among many others, primarily used to fix cognitive disorders.
But such nootropics tend to result in addiction, among many other harmful physical and mental side effects. Recreational use is not advised, and one should always consult the doctor when taking them for a reason.
Alright, so in summation, there are many nootropics out there, but none quite like NZT. Uncontrolled consumption, as depicted in the movie, is not safe, and are primarily for those suffering from cognitive disorders. Thank you for watching our documentary.